Hey everyone, welcome back to Rahasya Gatha. If you've been following along, you know we've already journeyed through 5 episodes of this explainer series, and today we are finally diving into episode 6. We're getting into one of the most magical, almost supernatural chapters of the Ramayana. This isn't just a story, guys. It's this beautiful, timeless account of destiny, devotion, and the absolute purest form of love that literally captivated the entire universe. So get comfortable, and let's dive right into this ancient mystery together, like an old tale told around a fire. Just picture this for a second. What would that exact moment look like when Narayan and Lakshmi themselves meet for the very first time in human form? I mean, wow, right? It's a question that just kind of grabs your heart and sends your imagination soaring. Today's explainer isn't just about a journey. We are literally witnessing the very first encounter of divine love and destiny, right in the streets of Janakpur and its peaceful flower gardens. We're not just watching two people meet, we're getting a front row seat to the most sacred union in the universe.
All right, Part 1. Janakpur welcomes the sage. Let's look at what happens when the great sage Vishwamitra arrives in the kingdom. So the moment King Janak gets the news that the great sage Vishwamitra has arrived and is staying at the Pushpavatika just outside the city, he doesn't waste a single second. He rushes out to respectfully escort him to the palace. Now remember, King Janak is famously known as Videha, which means someone completely detached from physical desires. But when this utterly detached king reaches the garden, his mind suddenly wavers. He spots 2 incredibly handsome young princes, Ram and Lakshman, standing with the sage. He literally asks himself, why are waves of affection rising in my ascetic mind just by looking at these enchanting figures? This king, who is always deep in meditation and detachment, is totally bewildered by what's pulling his heart toward these princes.
Seeing the king's deep curiosity, sage Vishwamitra proudly introduces the 2 boys. He explains that they are the sons of King Dasharatha of Ayodhya. And then he drops this incredible detail. On their way to Janakpur, just the mere touch of Sri Ram's feet freed Mother Ahalya from a years-old curse. Hearing this, King Janak instantly realizes, okay, these aren't just good-looking princes. They are quite literally the embodiment of divine grace and compassion walking on earth.
Moving on to Part 2, the mesmerized citizens of Mithila. Let's talk about the supernatural awe taking over the city streets.
As Ram and Lakshman leave the palace and walk through the streets of Janakpur, the reactions of the everyday citizens are just mind-blowing. People literally drop whatever they're doing, completely frozen in awe. They're whispering to each other that all the beauty of the 3 worlds has somehow been poured into these 2 princes. It was like visiting deities from heaven were just casually strolling through Mithila. The women of the city even started secretly praying. You know what they wanted? They were desperately praying that this gentle, beautiful prince would be the one to break the Shivdanish, so that no arrogant king could take away their beloved Princess Sita.
Which brings us to Part 3, the first meeting in the flower garden. A truly historic morning.
The morning right before the Swayamvar was honestly magical. The timing of everything was just so perfectly, mysteriously aligned. The setting is King Janak's royal flower garden, the Pushpavatika. At dawn, Ram and Lakshman head out to gather flowers for their guru. Around the exact same time, Princess Sita arrives at the garden's temple with her friends for the Gauri Pujan, a pre-wedding ritual. And then, mid-morning hits. Destiny plays its hand, and amidst all those blooming flowers, their paths finally cross.
Now, this is probably the most breathtaking moment of the entire epic. One of Sita's friends signals her, and as Sita turns and sees Sri Ram, time just stops. The Ramcharitmanas immortalizes this moment with a beautiful line, Lochin magramahi ur ani, dine palak kapat sayani. Basically, it means Sita brought Ram into her heart through the pathway of her eyes, and then cleverly closed the doors of her eyelids. Why? So he could never leave her heart. I mean, that silent, instant surrender, it literally gives you goosebumps.
Let's shift gears to Part 4, the state of Sri Ram's mind. Things are getting a bit turbulent for our usually stoic prince.
Let's contrast how Ram is acting after returning from the garden. Normally, his mind is perfectly calm, ascetic, completely undisturbed, like a totally still lake with 0 ripples. But right now, it's a completely different story. Ram actually confesses to Lakshman that it's like someone threw a pebble into his calm lake, and now waves of emotion are rising everywhere. He's in such a state that even when he looks up at the moon, he just sees Sita's radiant face. Even Lakshman is super confused, seeing his normally serious brother so lost in thought.
But here is where the true greatness of Ram's character shines through. Reflecting on this strange new feeling, he says, "The mind of a Raghuvanshi never wanders down the wrong path. This must be the design of destiny. He realizes, deep down, that if his completely pure mind is inexplicably drawn to her, it's not just some random attraction. Nope, it's the absolute law of destiny, and a massive divine plan is taking shape right before their eyes.
Part 5, Sita's Gauri Pujan. Let's look at her sacred rituals.
So, after seeing that captivating image of Sri Ram in the garden, Sita's heart is just racing. She goes to the temple of Goddess Gauri with her friends and starts her sacred rituals with complete devotion. Step 1. She offers the sacred rice, the akshat. Step 2. She lights the incense and the lamp. Step 3. She presents the sweet naivedya. And finally, she meditates at the goddess's feet, silently, desperately praying to get that exact, dark-complexioned, beautiful groom she just saw out in the garden.
And guess what? Her true devotion results in an actual miracle. The idol of Goddess Gauri smiles, and a divine voice echoes, Monu jahi rachayu milihi sobaru sahaj sundar samru. It means, O Sita, you will get the naturally beautiful, dark-complexioned groom upon whom your heart is set. Hearing this incredible blessing, Sita's heart is just instantly filled with absolute satisfaction and boundless joy.
So destiny has spoken and the gods have given their blessing. But there is still one massive question hanging over this epic tale. King Janak's vow is incredibly strict. The heavy Shiv Dhanush, that mighty, arrogant warriors couldn't even budge, will this gentle, beautiful prince actually be able to lift it? Well, you'll have to find out in the next episode. If you enjoyed this explainer, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Rahasya Gatha so you don't miss what happens next. See you in episode 7.